Okay, so our next topic is a really short topic on money, and we now have to cover two things, simple interest and hire purchase. So this first video is about simple interest. So I've got to start. You don't need to copy any of this first page down. So I've got while in the real world, interest is actually compounded. So you get compound interest when you actually put money in the bank, and you pay compounding as well. But you need to understand simple interest in order to understand it. So you don't need to copy any of this down at this stage. Okay, so there's two applications. First of all, interest is what you earn. So if you've got money in the bank, you earn interest from the bank because they've got your money. But the second one is interest is what you pay when you borrow money. So if you've got money and lend it to the bank, you get it from them. But if you borrow money, then you have to pay it back. Now, when you borrow money, we've got two applications: home loans, which you don't have to study till senior school, but a hire purchase, which is going to be on video number 2. So you might want to copy that down, but it's not necessary if you don't want to. So we've got a formula, and we're just going to define what the letters mean. So simple interest, I'm just going to call that SI. The money in the bank, which is called the principal, we call that P. The interest rate, which is like, e.g., 5% per annum. E.g., 5% per annum, that's the interest rate. I is 5, and the length of time could be weeks or years or whatever. But you must, whatever this period is here, it must match the interest rate. So if we've got per annum, which means per year, then the period of time is in years. Some questions might say the interest is per month, and then you have to have months. But this N has to match the period has to match the interest rate quoted. And the formula that we use is a really simple one. You just multiply. So we've got the principal times the interest over 100, like 4% is 4 over 100, times how long it's in the bank for. So you need to copy that down. And when you're ready, come across to the next slide. So we're going to do a few worked examples. So the first one, these are really straightforward. Okay, so we've got money, which is P, we've got interest, which is 4, and we've got N, which is 3, which is N. Okay, so we just write the formula out again if you want to. So it's 2,000 times 4 over 100 times 3. And so you get $240. Now, not that I asked it, but if the question then said, what is the balance in the bank? Well, you started with $2,000 and you earned $240 interest. So now you've got $2,240. So the question didn't ask for that, but questions in the book might say, what is the new balance? Okay, copy and come across when you're ready. So in this second example, I've got interest rate quoted per annum, but I've got period is in weeks. So this is one way we've got to change it. So again, I've written the formula out because it's good practice. Okay, so 600 is the principal, I is 5, and N is not 10. N is going to be 10 over 52. So that turns weeks into years. So if you have months, you divide by 12. If you have days, you divide by 365, etc. Okay? So we just put those numbers in the calculator, and in this particular one, I had to round because I think it had 7, 6, and the next number was bigger than 5, so I rounded up. So again, if you wanted to find the final balance would be, you started with $600, so you got $605.77. Okay, copy and then come across. Okay, so what I've got in this last part is, rather than having the simple interest out the front, you could have P out the front, you could have I out the front, or you could have N out the front. Okay, so we rearrange the formulas. So just to show you how I'm doing it, so rather than having P times I over 100 times N, I'm just going to call it PIN over 100 because the letters are just going to the top. Okay, so if you want P to be by itself, like we do in equations, okay, so we've got simple interest is PIN over 100. So what we have to do is we have to deconstruct. So the first thing we do is we times by 100, and then we divide by I times N, and it's better that you put that in brackets when you do the calculation. Okay. If I want I to be out the front for the second part, I multiply by 100, and then get rid of the I and the N, the P and the N, and again put that in brackets. And if I want N out the front, I multiply by 100, and then put P and I on the bottom. Okay, so any of those questions could be asked where you have to rearrange the formula. So again, if you just copy those down, and then you'll just be using them. So if you're looking for the principal, the interest, or the number of periods, just use those formulas. And from the textbook, exercise 11C, page 164, there's lots and lots of questions, but you need to just do a variety. But I really want you to focus on the understanding and reasoning, because that's where you apply the knowledge in harder circumstances. That's it, nice and short. Okay, bye.